So we are here to look at some questions, different marks, different strategies, and how to answer those questions. We will do as many questions as we can in this video. So this is going to be a very long video. So let's buckle up and start. So our first question is question 1. Now, if you look at this question, it just gives you the diagram and tells you that A, B, C, D are points on a circle. PA is a tangent to the circle, so we are already being provided with the information that we will use to solve this equation. Angle PAD is 39 degrees and angle BCD is 103 degrees. Now, this particular question is asking you calculate the size of angle ADB. However, it does not ask for us to give reasons for why we are making the choices or giving the values we are. So such a question is 3 marks. It doesn't ask you for reasons. So if you know the theorems or you don't know the theorems but you can be able to solve the sum, you solve the sum. So in this question, I'm not going to write the theorem that I'm using. I'm not going to write it or type it in. Instead, what I'm going to do is just say there is this theorem and this angle is equals to this. So we want angle ADB, that is that angle there. Now, to get that angle, there is an angle we already know. That is that angle ABD. Now, angle ABD is going to be equal to 39 degrees. And we know the reason for that is angles in opposite segments are equal. The exterior angle to the tangent is equal to the angle in the opposite segment. So that theorem, we gave it, of course, all the theorems we are talking about here, you will find in the previous video where we talked about them. So ABD is 39 degrees. So if ABD is 39 degrees, then I have already solved a part of this. There's a second angle I can easily solve. That is angle BAD to finish this triangle. Now angle BAD is going to be equal to 180 minus 103. So again, we are not writing our reason. Now, the reason why angle BAD is 180 minus 103 is because if you look at ABCD, it has 4 vertices touching the circumference of a circle, and therefore it is a cyclic quadrilateral. And opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180. So if I take my calculator and say 180 minus 103, this gives me 77 degrees. So that is angle BAD. So now we have our second angle, which is 77 degrees. That leaves us with the angle that we have actually been asked in the question, and that is angle ADB. Now, ADB is a triangle, and angles in a triangle add up to 180. So this angle will be 180 minus 39 plus 77. So we now have 180 minus, you open the bracket, 39 plus 77, and you get that answer equal to 64. Now, if you can do that in the calculator directly, then you just place it in the calculator. But if you can't, then it's okay. It's very much okay for you to add and then subtract, whichever one you find easier for you to do. So we have solved this question without giving reasons. And now let's go to the next question, question number 2.